Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. So, by the way, we had a very important basketball game today. Texas basketball. I know so many of you have been asking for more Texas hoops content. They're in the middle of a, really nice season. Now ranked in the top 10. They came in this week at number 8. They moved up a little bit despite the Baylor game getting postponed and not being able to get another game in before the new year. So with a little bit of downtime, hey, how's Texas going to respond to now having to go to Phog Allen, Lawrence, Kansas, and play the Jayhawks, who are currently ranked number 3? Guys, they responded. They were unbelievable today. Unbelievable 25-point win, 84-59 over the number 3 Kansas Jayhawks. Bill Self's worst home loss, and somebody, a coach I respect, one of the most respected coaches in all of college basketball, and to see what we were able to take away from them and then generate for ourselves was certainly impressive, especially in that second half. By the way, while you're here, all you guys that were hitting me up for weeks about Texas hoops content, hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends. I know there's a growing swell of momentum in the Texas basketball fan base, and I didn't want this to get dumped, especially with today's Texas football news, because I've really enjoyed watching this team, and I have been waiting. I'm like, okay, when's the right time where I kind of want to summarize, this stuff. So just even starting with today's game, because the depth of this team. And I understand the news with Gerald Liddell ready to move on. We heard Will Baker is going to be moving on to Nevada. So we've had some guys, even leave the program this season. But there's so much depth here. Royce Ham, Kamaka Hepa didn't even make the trip due to COVID concerns. But when you have guys, even like a Donovan Williams, able to step up off the bench. You're bringing Kai Jones off the bench, who should be a first-round pick, has unbelievable length and athleticism, and those guys aren't in your starting five, and you're seeing potential go to production. And that's been one of my biggest things when watching this Shaka Smart tenure and frustrations. And now I don't know where the light switch was. I think a lot of it has to do with experience in terms of what this group had together, because the only person that wasn't here last year was Greg Brown. Them playing together, having that experience, and kind of finding their identity in themselves towards the end of last season. But I think one of the key things that Shaka Smart and this coaching staff, because they've done a brilliant job this season, a fantastic job this season, they made that tweak of saying, you know what, let's stop pushing away our gifts, our gifts of athleticism, our gifts of length. Let's embrace that. Let's run more. We have veteran guards to control pace and to figure those type of things out. But we need to be a more up and down team. We need to be a more frenetic team on defense. Let's channel, because the defensive stuff and the hustling, they found that last year with just having to play with various lineups after Jericho Sims went down, right? And so when you have that good mix, that's where you start to have a real team, when you combine veteran guard play. And today was like, just, okay, now I get to see Courtney Ramey play well, Matt Coleman play well, Andrew Jones play well. Now we're in business. When all three of my veteran guards are playing at that level, we're in business. Now my big Jericho Sims I was worried about him, because we have been productive this year. We've had some big dog games. Even the loss to Nova, we've been playing well and been tested already with the tough out of conference slate. But Jericho Sims hadn't really been a part of the party like that. He had shown a little bit of flashes here and there, but his motor, to me, just was not running the way it was before he went down with injury last year, and he was really, really coming on. We saw that from literally the opening tip today, goes and gets an and one right off the jump. And I knew, and Jericho's one of those people that you could read pretty well in terms of his body language, maybe not necessarily his face, but his body language, because I've been saying whether it's on Twitter or on this channel earlier when I made content, I need him to be engaged, because when he's engaged, the whole team, it makes the game easier for Greg Brown. It makes the game easier for Kai Jones and any of the bigs coming in behind him. And he really stepped up today when we needed him, because Royce Ham wasn't available. And Royce Ham is a different type of big, more of a dirty work type of guy. But all these guys with their roles are very, very valuable to our team. Even a guy like a Brock Cunningham, who is not going to, be a offensive threat, but can crash the boards, create, hustle plays, 50-50 balls, makes the game easier for Matt Coleman and Courtney Ramey to get in and do their thing and get in their bag, so to speak. Courtney Ramey today was our leading scorer. I was happy because he had a pretty rough game. One of the last times out where we were, kind of going through the motions. I forgot who it was that we even played. It was one of the smaller schools. I don't know if it was like Sam Houston State or somebody, but we were kind of sluggish. And then we open up conference play, our first game against Oklahoma State, the matchup with Cade Cunningham, and that's when Greg Brown had his like true show-out game against another top NBA guy in Cade Cunningham. So just when you have a team that you can rely on, get to guys different nights. And then what we haven't seen, what we saw today, was what happens when these dudes just get hot. Because that happens in basketball too, where you have more, 3 or more dudes that just all of a sudden can't miss. But what was more impressive to me than the shooting was the shot selections the shots they got. Jay Billis did a wonderful job on the broadcast pointing this out. Look at where everybody's shooting. Feet are set, comfortable, catch and shoot situations. A lot more driving kick than we've seen in previous years, and it all comes from better guard play. It all comes from better guard play, and then I get the big in there to complement that. Jericho Sims double today. I know Greg Brown didn't have a monster game by any means. He did have a nice little step back three, which the NBA people will like to see. He's a freshman. He'll be up and down. But overall, the talent level's there. We know what we're going to get, and he's only good. The consistency will grow over the course of the Big 12 season and hopefully into the NCAA tournament. Speaking of NCAA tournament, with Texas already being ranked number 8, and they'll have some up and downs throughout. But with Texas being ranked number 8 already, that means if the season ended right now, and there's still a lot of season left, but you're talking about being a 2 seed. And the issues that they've had in terms of not having that tournament success recently, whether it's Shaka Smart or even back at the tail end of the Rick Barnes era, they haven't been seeded high enough. If you can get in there as a 1, 2, or 3 seed where you don't have these crazy, difficult, narrow matchups in the first round, that's how you assure yourself of advancing. Yeah, anybody can go on a run at any point of the tournament, especially with COVID this year and how things will play out. That will be seen. But in terms of setting yourself up for a long-term tournament run success, those higher seeds and playing those lesser teams will be super beneficial. And Texas is putting together a fantastic, potentially number 1 seed type resume with what they're doing, advancing to 8-1, 2-0 now in the Big 12. We still have West Virginia out there, still have Texas Tech out there, and obviously the big wolf being Baylor. So, man, I don't have enough positive things to say about this group. And they've played, that Oklahoma State game from before, the first conference game. Remember, I went to that game and they got rocked. The game that we ended, the last game we played at the end of the last season, we got rocked. And to see them come back and figure that out, get out of there, survive, win, what have you, because not every game is going to be a blowout like Kansas. And I guarantee you, Bill Self is going to tell us guys like Christian Braun didn't shoot well today. The only person that played really well for Kansas that I thought was Jalen Wilson, phenomenal freshman out of Denton. But overall, Kansas will be better and back when they play us in Austin, and we're going to have to play them again in the Big 12. That's why Bill Self's group has been so consistent. But today, all these signs are so encouraging, and they just look like a team. You look at the sideline, you look at Shaka Smart, their coaching staff, and their level of engagement is extremely impressive, and I couldn't be prouder of our group and how they play on the defensive side of the ball, how they hustle on 50-50 balls, how they get those possession attempts. There's stuff to clean up still. Even in a 25-point, win, they turn the ball over like crazy. They still struggle sometimes with dribble pass shoot, right? And so even with all that, there's still stuff that they can get better on. But I do see tweaks of improvement. I do see better ball movement. I do see better, at least quicker decisions by the bigs when they do get the ball on the post or, trying to kick it out and trying to be more creative. I do see Kai Jones, who, you look at the way that brother's shooting the ball compared to when he just got here last year. Those are the type of things that NBA scouts take notice of. And it's crazy how Shaka keeps finding people like this, from Jackson Hayes now to Kai Jones. It's unbelievable, and the motor that's there. So shortening up the rotation is another thing that a lot of people had asked for before that we're now seeing, and it's paying off. It's early in the Big 12 season, but how can you not be encouraged and excited by this team? I told y'all before, this is going to be one of the most exciting teams in all of college basketball to watch. Now they might be one of the best teams in all of college basketball to watch. And who would have thought that before the season started? So, guys, I will have more Texas basketball content, especially with, where we are in the football landscape and wrapping up. But this is an exciting time to be a Texas basketball fan. Congratulations to Shaka Smart and all those kids that went up to Kansas today and got a massive, massive victory for the program. Couldn't be prouder of y'all. Guys, I appreciate y'all. Horns always up.